Welcome back to Words of Paradise. I'm your host, Leon Idol, and who says I don't take requests? That's right, today we're doing another reaction, something I'm not very familiar with. It's a channel called The First Take, which has, looks like from the research I've done, it's a Japanese channel, has Japanese artists come in, do one take of a song of their choosing, and see what they can do without any breaks, cuts, edits, the whole nine. I did watch one of these already, just kind of get a feel for what I was getting into. I listened to Go by Flow. It was super cool, and I was recommended to listen to the Hololive First Take, and I thought, you know what, I'm tangentially familiar with Hololive, the VTubers, so yeah, I'm interested to see what a Hololive, what a VTube First Take would be like. Let's take a look. Alright, this is Hoshimachi Suisei, Stellar Stellar. So Stellar Stellar is the song. Hoshimachi, like I said, is a member of Hololive. I could not tell you any of the members of Hololive off the top of my head. So yeah, let's take a look at this, see how it goes. Out the gate, the character model looks pretty cool. I'm enjoying, you know, the full body look. I don't know, again, like, I'm only semi-familiar with Hololive, so I don't know if it's always this full body or if they had to do an entirely new render, but if they had to do an entirely new render, well, hey, it looks spot on. I like the branded Sony headphones there. Okay, so there's gonna be studio musicians. I mean, the point of, you know, one take is the musicians have to, the music has to be real, the instruments, the whole nine. So clearly, this is gonna be real studio musicians playing all the parts, and obviously the VTuber who's singing, I'm sure they're like back screen, behind a green screen, or behind a sound wall or something, so that they're actually doing the singing live, and then maybe the VTuber was just modeled in after. So it's gonna be cool to see how the real life instruments work, especially all in one take. You hear the underlying, these strings, sounds like a violin probably. You know, we've seen guitar, we've seen piano. I hope it cuts to all the instruments, because there's really no, when you're doing a first take, a lot of it is, you know, what is being done live that's not done in the studio version, whether it be mistakes or things they've added, you know, improvisation. So I hope we get to cut to the other instruments and see some of that improvisation and whatnot. Like in the you know, Flow, in the Flow video I watched, the guitar player, you know, dropped his pick. He had to reach and grab for another one. You had to see there was the interval where he dropped it, kept playing with his fingers for a sec till there was a moment he could grab one. I'm hoping for, you know, points like that in this as well, because obviously the VTuber is not going to make any graphical mistakes. Like, that wouldn't make sense. And not that I'm hoping for anyone to make mistakes, but just anything that would mean a first take, any sort of improvisation, any sort of mistakes, anything that, hey, this is live, there's no going back and editing. I want to be able to catch that sort of stuff. So when we hear those violins, alright, I know there's violins back there. I want to cut to them, see the technique, things like that. Chick's got some pipes, I will give her that. Like, damn. So, real quick, what does Hoshimachi Suisei have in common with her headphones? They're both digital. I'm gonna have to say, editing-wise, like I said, there's no editing it like in these typically. Like, yeah, there's edits and there's cuts to the camera. There's camera editing, but there's no like going into the studio editing the sound quality or anything like that. So editing-wise, I'm gonna give mad props to having, because this is a real mic right here. Like this is a real microphone prop, and they had to edit in this Hololive model, and she's moving her arms, gesticulating. It's going around the cables, behind the cables, and the editing to make it look real, like she's physically there with the mic. There's only an absolute minimal uncanny valley effect, and whoever did the actual computer work on this, I want to make sure that they get credit, because I imagine that can't be easy.
そうだけ書き連ねていたノートの隅に眠る本のワンシーンだきっとあの星も泣いてるんだ明日なんて来ないままでいてその手を伸ばして誰かに届くように本当に大切なものが目に見えないみたいなんだそうさ僕は夜をだよステラステラありのまま考えないでこういう音楽はきっとやまないそうだ僕がずっと泣いたかったのは会えくないヒロインじゃないさすぐに行くヒーローだ夢見がちなおとぎ話おとぎ話そうさ僕は夜を問うよステラステラありだけの輝きて
I think I found kind of an apt comparison for what I'd like to see with this. This has not been bad, mind you. I'm quite enjoying this. But if anyone's familiar with the band, the Gorillaz, obviously the whole thing is that the Gorillaz is, band members, a singer, the whole nine, behind avatars. Now, I've been fortunate enough to go to a Gorillaz concert. By the way, awesome. Easily top 5 concerts I've ever been to. When we saw them live, the Gorillaz, as the avatars, were displayed on giant screens, and the real individuals were on stage, and even though they were on stage, they were like down in a pit and kind of blacked out. Now, anyone that knows the Gorillaz knows what Damon Albarn looks like, knows he's the singer, so they know these individuals, which is not the case for at least all of Hololive, or maybe any of Hololive. I don't know how many have shown their real faces, but I do wish maybe we'd gotten the silhouette or something of, the actual singer, the gal that has these pipes, somewhere in here to show that, they were there, they're putting in the work, that they didn't just, record this from their bedroom. Like, obviously they didn't, or if they did, they got some incredible sound quality setups in their bedroom. But, yeah, I do think that there's maybe a bit of a disconnect, because we're seeing, like I said, the Uncanny Valley effect isn't there, but in these, first takes, I imagine since it's normally real individuals, we get a sense of camaraderie between band members, or get a sense of reality that, we all know that this VTuber, that this is a character, that this isn't real. Just like with the Gorillaz, we know that 2D isn't real. Now, that being said, that doesn't take away from the music. The music is, incredible in its own right. You can listen to the Gorillaz on the radio, you can pop on their album, whatever, and you're listening to the music, not really thinking about the cartoon band. I think this is a similar thing here, is when you're listening to Hololive, or any of the members of Hololive, when you're listening to their music, you're listening to the music. You're not. I mean, if you like the character, that's cool too. But you're listening for the music, and if the music is good, that's what you're gonna take away from. So I think that listening to this probably wouldn't be, or watching this, I should say, watching this and listening to it probably isn't too terribly different than listening to the regular studio version. I do wish there was something from, Hoshimachi Suisei themselves, from the real person behind that avatar, again, without showing their face or anything, privacy being a big deal and whatnot, but I wish there was something that would show that there is a human element behind this, more so than just our own knowledge, because that's how the reality of life works. But I'm still really enjoying it. There is a bit of a disconnect in this that I don't think we'll get with other the first takes, or at least from the one I've listened to so far.
今宵音楽はずっとずっと止まないそうさ僕は愛を歌うよステラステラ世界宇宙の真ん中で今宵音楽はきっときっと止まないそうだ僕がずっと泣いたかったのは待ってるシンデレラじゃないさ迎えに行く王子様だだって僕は星だから
The way that character guy side-eyed the camera there was some personality. I wish they'd done more things like that in this, rather than just have her singing completely into the mic. Like, that was very clearly an attempt at her, interact with the crowd a little bit. She turned her head, looked, and gave a wry smile. Her eye shape changed there for a bit, and that was very welcoming. I actually do wish we'd gotten more things like that, and maybe I would have taken my previous comments, comparing to the gorillas, out of this a little bit. Yeah, like things like that.
Stella, Stella.
Alright, well that was the first take of Hoshimachi Suisei. I apologize if I'm butchering that pronunciation. Yeah, the song was brilliant. The song was absolutely gorgeous. I think the real benefit to this, because since it is a VTuber, since it is, an avatar effectively, just like with that comparison with the gorillas, I think the benefit of this is, at least to my knowledge, there's no Hololive concerts. You can't go see Hololive in concert, or if you can, that'd be news to me, that'd be super cool, but you can't go see them in concert, because a lot of them, there are avatars, they haven't shown their face, things like that, and it would just be a very technically difficult thing to set up, something even the gorillas didn't get right for several years, and, they're one of the biggest bands, ever in the world, at least of the modern era, 2000s and on. So this gave us the closest we could get to a live performance, and it shows that her voice isn't a lot of smoke and mirrors with computers and text and whatnot. Like, that is whoever the vocalist behind that character, that is their voice. That was their voice, unedited, unfiltered, and it was really, really cool to know that there is authenticity behind an avatar like that. It was, seeing the piano bit was nice, seeing the guitar bit was nice. I do wish we'd gotten more of that, especially maybe more of that in conjunction with the Hololive character, because just seeing, some fuzzy quality hands playing on a piano, in a video setting like this, it doesn't do much to show that it's live. Like, we all know it is live because of the nature of what the first take is, but it didn't do a whole lot for me like it did in the previous first take video I'd watched. That said, I'm really happy this is recommended to me. I thought it was super cool. The things that we're able to do with technology now, absolutely boundless. I think the real takeaway from this is the real life voice behind that avatar, and the fact that it's not doctored with a bunch of tech. That's astonishing to know how multi-talented individuals can be. They can sing, they can create content with these characters that people fall in love with. I imagine that means they're good writers, or at least good improvisational individuals if they're doing live streams like this and making commentary. So yeah, definitely a multi-talented individual. If you guys want me to do more stuff like this, if you want to see me react to more things like this, you just gotta let me know in the comments. I've only been really doing nerdcore reactions, but man, if you got something you guys want me to react to, just let me know. That said, I'm not mostly a reaction channel. I'm actually a nerdy news channel, so if you're into anime, Magic the Gathering, Star Wars, you name it, it's all here in the Nerdosphere. So please do subscribe, check out the back catalog, other reactions, other news, and remember, this has been Words of Paradise.
It's Ryan Colt Levy, the voice of Denji, aka Chainsaw Man, and you are watching Words of Paradise.